41. 241.
Okay, so we're going on with our linear relationship. So question 1 says, if your pattern continues growing in the same way, how many tiles of each color will be in the 4th and 5th diagram and the 10th diagram? So we're going to go ahead and set it up as orange, blue, red. Okay, so in the first diagram, I got 1 orange tile. Second diagram, how many do I have?
4.
And in the third diagram, I got what? So what happens?
You go like,
one layer.
add a layer on the outside.
Multiplies by what? What multiplies by itself?
Number the thing.
The diagram number.
Yeah.
So each one of these is a diagram number. So what Gage is saying, the diagram number multiplies by itself. So if I got 1 times 1, that gives me what?
1.
So if I got 2 times 2, that gives me what?
4.
I got 4 orange ones. If I got 3 times 3, it gives me what? 9. So if that pattern continues, the 4th diagram will be 4 times 4, which is 16. The 5th diagram will be the 5 times 5, which is, and for the 10th diagram, what? 100. That'll be the 10 times 10. Okay? Now, everybody understand that? We took the diagram number multiplied by itself, gave you the orange tiles. Now, let's move on to the blue tiles. So I've got 3 in the first diagram. How many in the second diagram?
6.
How many in the third diagram? So what happens?
Multiply by itself.
No.
It adds
That's 3.
What does it do?
It multiplies by 3.
The diagram number does what?
Multiplies by 3.
Multiplies by 3. So 1 times 3 gave me 3. 2 times 3 gave me 6. 3 times 3 gave me 9. So if my same pattern continues, the 4th diagram is going to be how many blue tiles? By multiplying by what? Be 12. 5th diagram would be, and the 10th diagram would be 30. Alright? Now red tiles. I've got 1 red tile in the first diagram, 2 red tiles in the second one, 3 in the third. What's my pattern?
It adds 1.
It is the diagram number, or multiplied by 1. So whatever the diagram number is, that's how many red tiles you'll have. Okay? So for the first one, so for the 4th diagram, how many red tiles?
4.
For the 5th diagram, how many?
5.
And for the 10th diagram, how many?
2.
Okay. So now, do we see the pattern going on? Everybody got this before I clear the board? Alright, so now, question 2. A lot of y'all had questions on this one. How many tiles of each color will be in the nth diagram, and then be prepared to explain your reasoning? The nth diagram means any diagram number can replace n. Right? N is the variable. Right? Just like when we're solving an equation, any number can replace x to figure out what the equation is going to equal, correct? Same thing here. So for the orange, so basically, what is the equation for each tile color using the nth diagram? Right? So for the orange diagram, what did I do? For the orange tiles, what did I do? I multiplied the number by itself. So that's saying I would take n squared or n times n. Okay? The n represents the diagram number. So whatever number I replace for N can tell me how many orange tiles is in that diagram. Does that make sense? Everybody understand before we move on to the blue?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so now, what did we do to find the blue tiles?
Multiplied it by 3.
Multiplied by 3. So I took the diagram number and I multiplied by 3. So that's just saying 3n or n times 3. Alright? So that means I can take and replace the n with whatever diagram it's want me to figure out, and I tell me how many blue tiles are there. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So when we're doing patterns, you can use any diagram number. Alright, so now for the red one. How did we find out how many red tiles are in it?
It was the diagram number.
It was the diagram number. So it can be just n or n times 1. Okay? That's telling me whatever the diagram number is, that's how many red tiles is going to be in it. Makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Are we sure? Okay. I know we haven't dealt with patterns much, but as we move forward, and especially once we get into the next unit, we're going to have patterns we're going to deal with. All right? So remember, your N represents the diagram number. All right? Are we good with that? All right, so now, we're going to do a group activity. Each table will have their own group. All right? We're going to do a card sort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 6 cards that have a graph on it, 6 cards that have a situation on it or a word problem. You're going to take those 6 cards and with the graphs and the 6 cards with the situations, and you're going to match them to each other. Match the situation to the graph. All right? There are going to be 6 matches. Once you're done with that, then you're going to pick one proportional relationship, one non-proportional relationship. And then you're going to answer the questions below. All right? What's a proportional relationship?
Where it goes above, like it's equal, but it goes up.
It equals all the way up. That means it starts where? Where would the graph start if it's proportional?
0.
0, 0 at the origin. All right, if it's non-proportional, what's going to happen? Which we dealt with yesterday was a non-proportional with the table. What's going to happen? It's not going to start where?
0, 0.
It's not going to start at 0, 0 or the origin. It's going to start higher up on the vertical line. So we understand the vertical line is your axis.
Yes.
That's your y-axis. All right, any questions? Now, if somebody does not work in the group, the whole group is going to take a 0. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to let one person do all the work and everybody else gets a grade off that one person. Everybody's got to work. Everybody's got to pitch in. All right? You're not going to finish this today. We'll finish it tomorrow, but I want you to try to get them all matched up so we can go over it tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right? You can close your book, put your pencils in your book so you know what page you're on. Close your books. I'm going to pass this out, and then you're going to keep up with the cards. All right?